How you doing, bud?
I'm good, my man. Good to be back with you.
Good to have you on this program. Good to have you on.
It's always wonderful.
How's the golf game? How's the golf game? Outstanding, right?
It was
golf
good. I actually, about a couple weeks ago, I shot my career low at Lakeside, which is I shot 65, which was quite amazing. But, yesterday, I had to work and couldn't play for like 2 weeks, so then I went out and shot 75 yesterday. So it was...
Dude, I mean,
imagine being mad about 75.
And here I was. I shot a 42 on the back the other day, and I'm like feeling great about myself.
Yeah.
You should.
Thank you, Alfonso.
Yeah, but Alfonso, if you did that, you'd quit golf.
No, that happens. It happens every once in a while,
Oh.
and it hurts a little bit. But, Rich, here's the deal.
Yes.
I have a lot more time than you do. You work harder than me.
I appreciate you saying that. How was Tahoe? Speaking of that, how was Tahoe?
Tahoe was a massive disappointment for myself, but it's always fun.
Now, you walk into hold on a second. You walk into Tahoe thinking you can win it, right, Alfonso?
I won't say that I think I could win it, but I definitely feel like I have a top 5 in me. Right? Like, I go there with the idea in my mind saying, if I play my game this week, top 5 is absolutely what I can do. And then, it doesn't happen every year. I don't know what it is about that golf course, but that golf course gets me every year. Because it's like you make one mistake, and it's 2 shots.
Well, how do you do on the famed par 3 right near the lake where Sean Payton once hit it off of someone's boat?
Hole.
That is.
I play that hole well every time because it's an easy 9-iron or pitching wedge, and I always make par or birdie on that hole. I think maybe I've bogeyed that hole in the last 12 years twice.
So who'd you hang with? Give me some good stuff. Were you around Rodgers? Because that was at the height of is Rodgers coming back or not? He was around there at the time. I mean, it just was another.
Yeah, I didn't see him much. I saw him one time in the little hospitality tent.
Right.
Said hello because we've played together a couple times. But he was kind of staying away from everything. Which I understand. Obviously, he was going through that in the middle of it all at the time. But I spent some time with Timberlake, and his kid was having a birthday party, his first birthday. So we went and hung out at the house and did that. And
nice.
Funny part of that, I might be talking too much, but they had a bear scare that week where a bear actually got into their rental house.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Really?
And there's video to prove it.
Huh. Whoa. Wow. Was it Justin Fields?
And then during the party, they had an earthquake.
Come on.
Come on.
Bear in the house.
During the party,
Yeah.
if you look it up, you'll see that Tahoe, that they had an earthquake on the Friday. It was either Thursday or Friday, middle of the afternoon. There was a big earthquake, like a 4.5 or something like that. And we were all in the house, and it was one of those great moments where everybody goes, let's go, get out. Grabbing kids, grabbing people out the house.
That might be the bear in the house might be, certainly if everything is fine, a submission for America's Funniest Videos, Alfonso.
Well,
don't you think?
It certainly, you know what? I might have to call them and get that video.
Get it from the Timberlakes. Go for it. Alfonso Ribeiro here on the Rich Eisen Show. And then we didn't discuss it this week pretty much because we have been in the Tom Brady returns to Foxborough wormhole quite a bit.
Yeah.
But we hardly even discussed on this show the Ryder Cup boat race that happened at Whistling Straits. That was unbelievable. I mean, the whole crew just came together and crushed it. That was unbelievable.
I got to tell you, I think Captain Steve Stricker did an amazing job. Yes, he had the horses to run with. You can't deny that this team was probably the highest-rated team in history, right? Almost all of those guys made it to the Tour Championship, right, at Eastlake. They had an incredible team. But there was also a lot of drama going in with the Brooks and Bryson deal, and which I think the media obviously went way too big on, made way too much of it, especially the golf media. But, they came together as a team and supported each other as a team. And, of course, that alone doesn't make good golf, but he allowed everybody to be themselves individually while still being a team. And I think that is the mark of a great leader. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to prepare. I'm going to let you prepare the way you need to prepare as long as you're prepared.
And they seem to have, like, this, I'm assuming this is it. Like, obviously someone's going to play their way into the team in the future, but whoever is on this team, I think, should get a spot the next time. They really have what it takes, like whatever it is.
No question.
I mean,
no question.
All of them.
Look, you could always, put some, other guys on that team that I think would have still also worked out. I think Kevin Na, Jason Kokrak, two guys that could have been on that team and would have absolutely gelled perfectly in that team. I think Kokrak was, like, even though Kevin Na might have a higher ranking, I think Kokrak actually would have been better on that team than Na because of his distance off the tee. But really what I loved about what Stricker did was courses for courses. The guys that he picked, his captain's picks, were all guys who could bomb it long enough on that golf course that the course couldn't win as easily, especially with the wind that they were having.
Right. And by the way, I
think that idea of saying, this is the type of golf course we have to play and whose game works on that golf course. Guys like Colin Morikawa, who don't hit it very far, but boy, does he have a great game. His game is going to travel everywhere, right? Which is why I think Stricker made a great choice of putting him and Dustin Johnson together, because Dustin is going to bomb it. So you'd have it on alternate shot, or he can go for trying to make birdies and eagles and all the rest, while Colin was being absolutely, consistent. Because I would probably say Colin was probably the shortest hitter on that team, but here's a guy with two majors.
And then the guy who crushed it maybe more than anyone else was Finau. I mean, what a weekend he had in the Ryder Cup. Like I said, whoever was on this team gets first crack at the next one, I would have to say. And then I just love this, and and then we'll talk about your show. What Mickelson's turning into. Like, I love him with that George Hamilton tan and the Biden sunglasses and the thumbs up stuff, and he's just out there like living his best, like the La Vida Loca for him. He's got that PGA championship. He's got them all in the case, right? Like, now, I just. He's out there, part of the staff, him, and obviously, DL3 there, and Furyk, and Fred, and the whole it was just the whole thing was just great. But Phil has just got like this aura about him now that I can't get enough of it. I just love everything about him.
What I'll say is that what I loved about Phil this last week was the fact that he was capable of riding in the back seat.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Phil show.
Yeah.
It was those guys, but Phil was there to help them in any way he could, which is typically not the case for Phil. Phil likes to be at the front of the table, right? He's the head of the table kind of guy. And it was great to see him take it off of himself and put it on those 12 guys and let them be the stars of that show. It would have been interesting for me to see Tiger and Phil in their roles. Could Tiger have done that also? And I think Tiger is going to become a great captain, and I think he will win plenty of Presidents and Ryder Cups as a captain, because I think he's learned that finally, that, and it's not really even his fault. When he walks into the room, it's like the GOAT's in the house, and you can't deny it, right? But he's learned to let these guys kind of stand up and be on their own pedestal while he's allowed to be, which is the mark of someone who's truly confident and someone who is truly great.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.